Hello and welcome to this chess video. I'm Master Ingvar Johannesson, and while I'm busy working on some London videos, I thought I'd show you a game from the King's Indian defense. Very nice game, one of my favorite games from the King's Indian, and this is between two veteran players. We can safely say that. With the white pieces, Lubomir Ftacnik, who is from Slovakia, still playing for them during the Olympiads, and with the black pieces is Ognjen Cvitan from Croatia. Now, this game was played in 97-98, actually 97 in the Bundesliga, 97-98, and Lubomir had white. He was playing for the Hamburger club, and Cvitan was playing for Scheringen. And we will have the King's Indian defense: g6, c4, bishop to g7, knight to c3. Now black can still make it a Grunfeld with d5, but once you go d6, it's a King's Indian. After castles, white plays e4, so there's no more d5 for black. So after d6, we can say it's a King's Indian. White goes bishop e2, this is the main line, e5, and white castles. It's always worth mentioning that the pawn on e5 can't really be captured. Let's say we even take the queens and we take here, and knight takes e5. Black can always regain the pawn by taking on e4, and these tactics don't work out. We can take on c3 with check and then simply win a piece here. So the main line is castles, and black goes knight c6, putting pressure on the center, and white pushes with d5. This is the Mar del Plata variation, and has been considered the main line of the King's Indian for a very, very long time. Now here white has a choice. b4 is the more modern choice, the bayonet attack. The old main line used to be knight to d2, and knight to e1 is also a very serious move. In this game, knight to d2 was played, which probably reflects the fashion around the time the game was played. Knight to e8, and black simply wants to play f5. The pawn structure sort of dictates where black will break. f5 fits well with his pawn structure, and meanwhile white will play c5 on the queen side and try to break through there. So b4 is a logical move for white, and f4 by black. So we have this attack on opposite wings. Black will try to mate, but white will try to basically clean up the queen side and then turn right, Knight to f6. The whole purpose of the knight move to e8 was to move the f-pawn. Now the knight can come back and put pressure on the center. White reinforces with f3, but this allows black to push with f4. So this is starting to look, a little bit scary with g5 and h5 coming. But white has his own ideas. He plays knight to c4. Black goes on with the attack. White plays a4, knight to g6, and bishop to a3. The idea here is to put pressure on the d6 pawn, and after rook f7, white plays b5, putting pressure on the pawn. Now, normally when black plays rook to f7, he wants to play bishop to f8 to cover the pawn on d6. And also the rook can swing over to the g file or the h file depending on what's going on. In this case, however, after b5, Ognjen Cvitan took on c5, d takes e5. Bishop took, and now he plays h5. White gets on with it, he plays a5, g4. So mating attack by black, very scary, but white is playing b6 now, so white is almost breaking through on the queen side. g3 now by black, and now we can see that if we can get the queen over here, things are starting to look really scary, but white is not scared. He plays king to h1. His idea is to settle the king. If you take, then you're happy, you just leave your king on h1, and black needs to spend more time on the attack. Black played knight h7. The idea, queen to h4, but white just got on with it, played d6, and now these pawns are becoming very menacing, and white is on the verge of breaking through. But here comes black, queen to h4. Bishop to g1, this was white's idea. And if we are now to take on h2, we will move the bishop, probably bishop f2, and white is doing quite well. Now we will just take on c7, the queen has to move, and black needs more time for the attack. But after bishop g1, black actually had other ideas, and he played bishop to h3. White took on c7. And here, black found a very nice finish. Now, can you find it? If you've seen my video on how to think and find tactics, I'll talk about the forcing moves, the jacks, captures, threats. And if you apply those principles, you will find the solution. First, you should try to find it, and I'm assuming you now came back. But if you just look at the forcing moves, what are the forcing moves for black? If we start looking at the checks, there's one check, bishop takes g2. So we'll start looking at, we'll start examining that. Then we'll look at the captures, this one, which probably not good. And actually, there aren't many other captures. So the forcing move is bishop takes g2. But what happens? King takes g2. And we go again. Okay, what's a forcing move after king takes g2? Queen takes h2. But okay, bishop takes... We still have a forcing move, knight h4, but just king g1 and nothing further happens. But we also have another forcing move, queen to h3. Now the king goes to the corner, king h1, there's g2 mate. Okay, but if we take the queen, king takes h3. Still look at the forcing moves, knight to g5. King has to go back, forcing move, knight h4 check. King has to go back, forcing move, g2, checkmate. And this is what happened, bishop takes g2. And this is absolutely forced, king takes, queen h3, very nice move. King takes, knight to g5, king has to go back, these squares are covered, and the other knight comes in, and white actually resigned, but this is the only move, and g2 would have been a very, very nice finish to this game. So yeah, a very nice King's Indian attacking game. There's actually an opening called King's Indian Attack, but yeah, brilliant attacking game, one of my absolute favorites, and just shows the attacking potential that black has. But life isn't all that simple, and of course white has better ways to play, and black has to know very well what he's doing, otherwise white will break through. As you can see in this game, if black hadn't broken through, then white already has a pass pawn on the 7th, but Cvitan was up to the task and delivered this very nice game. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.